Can I get a motion to have Paul and Brian join us remotely? Eden, and second, Rob. Okay. All those in favor? Any opposed? Ayes carry.
Approval minutes, same thing. Go ahead.
And now we have the approval of minutes. Oh, can I get a motion?
So move.
Okay, in a second. Oh. I had Sharon and Phil Sauser. And a vote? Okay, yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any nays?
Aye.
Ayes carry. Okay. First, we have the informational items, reports, other minutes, and updates. No. Okay, so we have the ESTB. Can we get Jody?
Hello. So there's not much to report for us right now. We are waiting on the consolidation grant that we applied for Stark County. We should have information on that hopefully sometime in June. But until then, we're kind of just on a waiting pattern for right now. Other than that, everything's going really good. Any questions?
Any discussion? Seeing none?
All right, thank you.
Okay, now can we get Nate to give the public defender report?
Good afternoon. I don't have any additions or corrections other than I did want to mention, because of there were changes made by the Illinois Supreme Court that took effect this year that dictate the way that case numbers, as they come in, you see felony, misdemeanor, those would be CF, CM, traffic would be TR. There's been some changes instituted in the way that those cases are classified and the way that they're categorized. So I'm working my way through that to give everyone a cogent explanation for my statistical data, but I expect it next month. You may see some different numbers, but I will provide a more thorough explanation at that time.
Do we have any questions? Eden?
How is recruiting going for you?
Stagnant, still, unfortunately.
Is there anything that we can do to help that?
And nothing specific. I may at some point come back with a more directed solution or a more directed request.
Any other questions for Nate? Okay, thank you, Nate. Oh, Phil Sauser.
Since we're seeing this big crackdown by our chief of police here in the city of Peoria, is this impacting you? And if it is, how is it affecting you?
Well, I mean, given the reactionary nature of the public defender's office, it's hard to say. Normally, I mean, statistically speaking, if you look year to year, you could make estimates that 8 out of 10 arrests that result in felonies being charged are going to end up with the public defender's office. That's about the number we deal with. 80 to 85% of the felonies that come in. So the more people that get arrested and are charged, the more work that's probably going to end up being for us. I don't know that there's been enough increase in volume at this point as we sit right now, but obviously when there's new initiatives to crack down on, particularly on violent crime, those cases as they come in, 80% of them, 85% of them go to us. So that is going to have some impact. I mean, it's just a matter of fact anymore, and I think that a lot of people would back this up, that our volume sometimes goes up and down, and it's what I would consider marginal or incremental amounts year to year, but it seems like the nature of the cases become more serious, and we tend to get a higher volume of higher level felonies, cases that require large prison sentences, mandatory prison sentences, things like that, and that obviously changes the amount of work that's required for a case. So it ends up being somewhat of a domino effect. I don't know that anything's really started to move at this point, but every time that those initiatives come forward, once they start feeding into the system, we end up with that effect, so a ripple effect, sort of.
Any more questions for Nate? Okay, thank you, Nate.
Thank you.
And do we have anybody from the sheriff's office? Yes. All right, thank you.
Feels kind of strange to be back. Good afternoon. This is informational item. We've been notified from the city of Peoria that they're going to pass through $32,055 from their FY 2021 JAG grant to us. We're just bringing this forward for informational purposes. The money's already in our budget, but we need the intergovernmental agreement to be executed by Scott and Rachel. And this is, how many years have we got this? Many, many years. How many? 10 plus? Over 10 years.
Do we have any questions? Okay, thank you.
I'm here for the next one.
Okay. All right, so we have, we're going to move on to our resolutions. We have 2 resolutions today. The first resolution is the rollover appropriation of unspent FY 2020 JAG funds into FY 2022 COPS budget. And, can I get a motion? Okay, Rob and Eden, for the second. And, okay, we can discuss now.
Thank you. This is just for housekeeping. We had $10,810 of unspent 2020 JAG funds unexpended at the end of 2021, our budget year. We're asking that those revenues and expenses be rolled over. There's also $6,720 that's been in the COPS fund balance for a few years. We're asking that that be appropriated also so we can spend that money down. Every dollar we spend in here for equipment is money we do not have to spend in the general fund. Any questions?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any nays?
Aye.
Aye.
Forgot about the 2. Any nays? The ayes carry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our second resolution is the FY 2022 budget appropriation for Illinois Court Technology Modernization Program. Hi, Gabe.
Got it. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, everybody. Just real quick, I want to draw your attention to the printed version of the
Gabe,
resolution.
I'm sorry, just a second. Can I get a motion
Nope.
in a second? Bear with me. Eden and Rob. Okay, Gabe.
Thank you. So the resolution that's printed in front of you, Jan was so kind to put that in front. We had to make a last-minute adjustment due to adding an expense line item for capital appreciation due to a request from the Finance Department. So latest version is the printed one in front of you. So as mentioned, we're requesting an FY 22 budget appropriation regarding grant funding from AOSE's Court Technology Modernization Program. Last August, AOSE was appropriated $10 million from the American Rescue Plan Act, known as ARPA, to provide statewide technology upgrades through this program. So all 102 counties were eligible to apply for funding. AOIC then hired Consultants Guidehouse to perform statewide courthouse technology assessments and provide recommendations for the use of these funding. Upon learning about the program, Jennifer and I assessed all 14 courtrooms and benchmarked our findings against AOIC's minimum courtroom technology standards, which was key. In November, we met with Guidehouse to discuss our findings. In late December, Guidehouse released the recommendations for potential funding approval in Peoria. From the recommendations, we obtained quotes and submitted our application to AOSE on January 18th. On February 11th, we received the great news that we were going to 100% funding approval in the amount of $175,402. On the agenda briefing, you will see a detailed list of the approved courtroom technology upgrades. Just a quick side note, if you take the $10 million and you divide that by the 102 counties, that comes out to roughly $98,000 per county. So we almost doubled that. So we're very excited in the courts. And now we're anticipating receiving the full funding in about 4 weeks. Currently, our payment is already pending with the Comptroller's Office. Moving forward, the procurement, installation, and payment for these technology upgrades must be completed by June 30th of 2022. Therefore, we're requesting this budget appropriation so we can record the advance payment and make the necessary purchases to complete this upgrade by our deadline. Be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions? Okay, thank you, Gabe.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any nays? Okay, the motion carries. Now we are at miscellaneous. Anyone have any miscellaneous? Okay, we are adjourned.